be up to the challenge. It's the 7th game of the Clan War. 4-2-2, the current score in favor of MVP, but Dream's run has been stopped. MarineKing was up for the challenge. He killed Dream on Crossfire, did a really good job, and now we are going to see if Vampire is able to compete with MarineKing. He is the next player for Team MVP. We have Cloud Kingdom, the new GSL map, and wow, this is a Terran versus Protoss, and it's MarineKing time. So let's see what MarineKing is doing right now. Remember, we have a lot of good players in Team MVP. They are the current GSTL and KSL Team League champion for a reason. They still have Don Ragu, they have players like Tails, they have Keen. So will Prime be up for the challenge? The main problem for Team Prime right now is that they are already behind in this clan war. MarineKing has to play at his best in order to defeat this entire team. And there are not too many players left for Prime, so MarineKing really has to put some effort in it. At the top right, we have him in the blue colors. At the bottom left, his opponent, Vampire. And we've seen Cloud Kingdom occasionally already. Well, the thing is, Cloud Kingdom is kind of a map where you can take a very early second base, but you can also be pretty aggressive about it, especially since it's a two-player map, and that's exactly what we've seen in the past. Early expansions against early pressure, and I really like that. So the map still has to prove itself a little bit. At least I have to admit that I haven't seen that many games on Cloud Kingdom just yet. I've seen a couple of matches in the GSTL obviously, and also in the KSL, but well, I'm not quite sure about the map just yet. So let's see how this game is going to turn out. We already have scouting going on for Vampire, and here's the expansion for MarineKing quite early in the game without gas so far. We have the command center for our Terran player in the blue colors. At the bottom left, we now have the Protoss with the cybernetics core, but no expansion just yet, and that's exactly what MarineKing is scouting right now. So very standard play for MarineKing, not too aggressive. He's playing a little bit more economical right now, but Vampire, what is he up to? He doesn't even save up money just yet. He has one gateway already. What's going to be his next building? Is he adding another gateway, or is he going straight for the expansion now that he is starting with his first Stalker? The Chrono Booster saved for the cybernetics core and the economy, and wow, there's the nice block with the engineering bay. That is getting more common lately. It was originally a strategy that you used against Zerg in order to deny the hatch first, but lately a lot of Terran players have decided to use engineering bay to block the expansion of the Protoss player as well. So it's kind of interesting to see. There's the expansion. The Nexus, one gate into expansion for Vampire, and 2 barracks are already being added for MarineKing. That's what you usually do when you start with the usual play when you start with the 1 barracks expand is that you skip gas for a while, you build 2 additional barracks, and then you squeeze out a lot of Marines so that you can defend against early pushes. Depending on what you scout, you can also play a little bit more greedy. You start with 2 refineries instead of the 2 barracks. You start to get gas very, very early. You add the barracks nonetheless, but a bit later, and start adding a factory as soon as possible. So MarineKing now with 3 barracks, 2 gas nonetheless, and refineries is adding more and more harvesters obviously, and already another engineering bay. So he wants to go for early upgrades, and at the same time this will also enable him to get the missile turret if need be, if he needs to get some scouting. We have 1 Stalker just poking a tiny little bit. At least it already killed the scouting probe. You might remember the probe that was trying to build the engineering bay was picked off by the Stalker. We have 2 sentries already, and they are obviously crucial in order to shut down any incoming attack. The +1 attack upgrade for MarineKing is now being researched. He's going for Stim at the same time, and now we have for his opponent the robotics bay. That's basically what killed what killed Core earlier on. When Dream faced Core, he didn't have anything that could detect cloaked units, and when the Banshees arrived at his expansion, the first Banshee, wow, I mean, it just got like 18 drone kills, probe kills, and that was horrible for the economy of Core. That's the scenario that Vampire wants to avoid. Therefore, already with the robotics, it's a little bit of a safer build, instead just transitioning into the Twilight Council. But the Twilight Council is something that we've seen a lot more often lately. We've seen Parting and the GSL use a lot of observers, and then with the robotics transitioning into the Twilight Council, starting with the upgrades for his gateway units, and then adding Templars with Storm. But Vampire is playing it a little bit more standard. He is resorting to the tactic that we've seen for Protoss in the last months. He is going straight for the engineering bay. He wants to go for the Colossi play, adding the two factories, not the factories, but the forges nonetheless, in order to get the double upgrades. And that's a scenario that a lot of Terran players struggle with quite a bit. Gateway heavy Protoss that is focusing on his upgrades will at some point be ahead in upgrades, and if he chooses his attack timing right, he will be able to engage the Terran army when the Terran player is behind in upgrades, and therefore gain a small advantage that might carry momentum and for the Protoss player to win the entire match. But just now, staying on 2 base, it's going to be difficult for Vampire to go for the double upgrades and go for the Colossus at the same time. He needs a lot of gas. He's going for +1/+1 right now. He's adding Colossus, he's adding extended thermal lens. Let's have a quick look if he's using his chrono boosts. Yes, he is. Onto the forges and the main base of MarineKing. We have still the 3 barracks, 1 starport, adding the Viking, not the Vikings, but the Medivacs now, and Stim and Combat Shield are done. Here comes the Twilight Council for Vampire. Obviously, he needs the Twilight Council so that he can build the +2/+2 upgrades. He also needs charge, and later on he will add blink as well. But, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. MarineKing is trying to be a little bit more aggressive about it. He has lead when it comes down to the overall supply. Also in Harvesters, he's not looking too shabby. Vampire slightly ahead of him though, with 51-48. 2 mules able to put the count in favor of MarineKing. There are a lot of observers. Well, not a lot of them, but at least 2 of them. One of them stationary in the front, and that's actually a very good thing. And extended thermal lens is done right now. Small gap. Well, that force field was not really necessary. 1 Marine being caught off guard and obliterated by the Colossus. First blood for our first Colossus in the game. +1/+1 will be done very soon, while MarineKing is now on +1 attack, but doesn't have the armor upgrade just yet. Nonetheless, we need more units for Vampire. Here comes MarineKing. Nice force fields. Very well-timed force fields. The Stim... Apparently the Medivacs didn't like the Marauder. The Marauder must have been mean when they picked him up. Like, probably they picked up the Marauder and he was like, bloody hell, it was about time that you assholes got me out of there. And the Medivac pilot was just like, what? What did you just call me? Did you just call me an asshole? Okay, well, you know what? Fuck you. I'll just drop you back into position and you can see how you fare against the Colossi. And I can tell you that much, the Marauder didn't look all that good against the Colossi. The observer shouldn't have moved, by the way. That was a stupid idea. MarineKing saw it immediately, scanned and took it out. We get down. We have charge now being built. +2/+2 upgrades are being queued up for Vampire. He's still behind in supply though. And MarineKing is not building a 3rd base just yet. I would have expected him to throw down another command center. He might just do it in a few seconds. But he didn't add the armory just yet. So he completed +1/+1. He has the 2nd engineering bay, but apparently I forgot the armory. He's a little bit late with it, so he can't start the +2/+2 upgrades. Now he can, but as you can see, Vampire is already halfway done with his 2nd wave of upgrades. So that puts him in a decent position if he can stall some time. We have a Templar archive being built. Vikings now. Oh, the Colossus gets picked off. Mistake by Vampire. Was quite a mistake, and he's going to lose another one. He's going to lose another Colossus. Oh my god, Vampire, what exactly are you doing now? More and more force fields thrown down, but the sentries are running out of energy, and he doesn't have a Colossus anymore. He has no Colossus whatsoever, and now MarineKing is stimming up the ramp. No more energy for the sentries, no more force fields. The Mana Mules, there they are, and MarineKing has finally found another victim, takes down Vampire, and wins the game for his team.